am thoroughly on board with the Shavkat Rakhmonov train.
Same.
I think he's very, very good. I think Carlston Harris is an interesting matchup for him because that's not in any way an easy matchup. They've matched him against someone that's got great neck attacks, which is not ideal for someone who's a good wrestler, and someone who has got power striking, as we saw in his last fight against Kasanganay. And Shavkat Rakhmonov, I feel like, although his last opponent was not... I mean, I thought Alex Oliveira was a much tougher test for him than Prazeres, because Oliveira is a really odd and awkward individual. He's very, very difficult to pin down. First round guillotine, beautiful work. But then they give him Michel Prazeres, who was like 3 foot taller. It was like a Lord of the Rings style fight. It was like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just looked like such an odd matchup. I kind of didn't understand the point of it.
The one thing I really liked about Rakhmonov in both his UFC fights, it was the knee that he threw against both opponents, and it was just the end from there. Alex Oliveira, both up against the fence as well.
Yeah,
came
right
in with
the
a knee, yeah, and then against Oliveira, that's what led to the guillotine, and Prazeres, after that knee, it was just the end.
Yeah,
I really like that. He's very accurate and very calculated. I find he's quite patient. You know, he's not very predictable either. You don't really know what he's going to do.
He's very difficult to read.
Yeah,
even how he stands. It's, you know what I mean? It's like,
yeah,
it's really odd. It's a really odd style, but it's so fucking effective.
Yeah,
he's very, very good. What is he, 14-0 now?
Yeah.
I also very much like the look of Carlston Harris. I was impressed with his fight against Kasanganay, and against Christian Aguilera, the Anaconda choke. Immediately in 2 fights, he showed diversity in his skill set, and he's fought just over a round total in the UFC. Like, you go back into his career, he's got Darce choke wins. He's got a lot of TKO stoppages, but that Darce choke might be something interesting to think about. It might give Rakhmonov a second thought of level changing. It might mean we'll see him striking a little bit more, which I'd like to see, because Rakhmonov is that upright stance that he's got is not ideal for someone with long power hooks.
Yeah.
There must be a reach advantage for Harris as well. Let me have a look at the stats.
The only thing with Harris, I thought, in his last fight against Impa, even though he did get the finish and the knockout, I just thought he was a bit reckless. Like, his shots are quite looping, and it's a bit scrappy, I found.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just think Rakhmonov might be able to read him. And, yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's a bit too predictable for Rakhmonov.
Yeah. I mean, I have Rakhmonov to win it, but I do think Carlston Harris could be... It could quite easily be just a... who was it that Makhachev lost to? He got knocked out. Was he behind Moicano? Who was it knocked him out? But it was just, you know what I mean? It was just one of them fights. It was like, if they fought again, it probably wouldn't happen. I could see, I could see Harris catching him with something that, like, if these guys fought 10 times, I think Carlston might catch him twice. And I think majority of the time, maybe even once, but I think Rakhmonov most of the time will roll through him. But I think there are things that he could underestimate Carlston Harris. And undefeated fighters, they do get to a point where sometimes they're just a little bit... It's not complacent, isn't the right word. I guess a little bit overconfident sometimes, or maybe a feeling of a feeling of invincibility.
Yeah,
sometimes that can leave you vulnerable for someone that's a bit wild.
Yeah. And if you get caught, you don't know what to do in that position because you've never been there before.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, he could get clipped and knocked down, and as he's scrambling for a takedown, get caught in a Darce choke. Yeah. Like, everything could go wrong in that first round, and he could be sitting there at the end of it like, what the fuck just happened? Like, they're the kind of circumstances I could see him losing. Similar to Makhachev. Have you got his record?
Yeah, Adriano Martins.
That's it, yeah. Like, that just wouldn't happen if they fought again.
Yeah.
Not that Martins is not a good fighter, because he is, but you just know how they stack up. There's no way that Rakhmonov... Like, there was a lot less chance that he was going to get taken out by a big overhand from Prazeres. Like, you knew he was going to be dealing with takedowns from Prazeres because at some point, Prazeres is going to realize he's going to need a footstool to reach his head. Yeah. I think Rakhmonov, but I can't underestimate Carlston Harris.
No.
I can't.
He's another one who's, well, not another one, but he's come into the UFC quite late. He's 34, isn't he?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he's only had 2 fights in the UFC, but he's on a good run. So I don't know whether it's like, how far can he go? And you know what I mean? This is like his last.
Yeah, maybe
last run.
Yeah, 34. Is that a lot of fights? 17-4. Rakhmonov's only 27. Jeez, scary what these kids are capable of. Okay, so you're going with Rakhmonov?
Yeah, I go Rakhmonov.
Okay,
yeah,
fair play.